Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So, in the previous episode, we looked at some of the concept related to prompt engineering, large language model. So, what I'll do today, I will start with Einstein Copilot. Um, so, you might have heard about the Einstein Copilot because it's quite popular these days. Salesforce is aggressively pushing for this technology. But that being said, right, it's a great tech. Um, so uh, what I'll do today, we'll go through some of the basics, and then I'll show you how to register for an org, and then we play around with a few things, right? And then in the next episode, I'm going to show you some of the power of flows and Apex, how you can incorporate to your Einstein Copilot. Now, what is a Copilot, right? Before we go get into the Copilot, you might have heard about the chatbots. Since 2014, there's a massive increase in chatbots thanks to AI capabilities, right? The more companies are looking to build chatbots to help them with their business process, right? And also to make sure that the customers are better looked after because the chatbots often gives any business a leverage or advantage when it comes to handling customer queries because they are the first line of information which customer can use to get the required information. And if chatbots are not capable, then they can route their call to the right case agent or the call center agent, right? So um, if we look on those grounds, Einstein Copilot really fits in because obviously, I'm gonna try to teach you guys from trailer, like I often say, right? I'm not a fan of PowerPoint unless it's required because I don't want to duplicate the information. Um, so Copilot, right? From a Salesforce perspective, why do Salesforce need Copilot to begin with, right? Obviously, you could do a lot of things with the traditional ways, like you have different omni channels, but the introduction of the Copilot or chatbots, right? It gives that AI capability to better serve the customer who are using Salesforce. So it's a conversation AI assistant in simple term, if I wanted to put it, and it's a conversational AI assistant for CRM platform. And obviously one of the advantages that it's built on top of the Salesforce platform. It is not a product which has been integrated using a different means. Obviously, Salesforce use the trust layer, and on top of that, they build this interesting technology. Right now, you must be wondering, why do I need a Copilot? Right? I mean, obviously, I've been using Salesforce for all these years. I never felt the need for artificial intelligence. Why all of a sudden, right? I do need an AI. Well, to answer that question, right? It depends, right? The way I often say is, right? AI, yes, I agree that everyone wants to drink that AI Kool-Aid, right? And you may not have an AI use case at this stage, right? But that doesn't mean that you won't be having it in the future, right? Um, so some of the things what Salesforce says that the Copilot can do, right, is to summarize your Salesforce record, such as opportunity, accounts, and cases. You can also draft and revise sales emails, which is important in my opinion, because the sales emails are always, um, needs to be when you write sales emails, right? You need to pay special attention considering your audience, the tone, and the information you want to communicate, right? Then you can find the Salesforce record, though you don't really need a Copilot for that. I mean, you can do that even without using AI, right? But that being said, it's one of the capabilities. Aggregate Salesforce data, answer questions and information from your knowledge base. So now, one thing you need to understand, right? All these chatbots or any other conversational AI assistants, they rely on large language model, which has been trained um, with tremendous amount of data, and it works with an assumption that you have a language model in place, right? We looked at the language model in the past in one of the episode I did. So So it's important to have the LLM in place, right? Without LLM, your chatbot is pretty much useless. You can't do much. You need to build your own rules, so and it defeats the whole point, right? That's where the Gen AI comes into picture. ChatGPT, for instance, right? ChatGPT, it relies on the large language model that's been trained by OpenAI, and now obviously the more questions you ask, you are helping the model to get trained. Now there are issues that have been raised in the past that where the people complained the AI companies are leveraging customer data without their consent to train the model, which raised serious potential issues. So that's why if you ever used ChatGPT, right, there is an option where you can turn off using your data for training their models, right? There's that functionality, they've added it. So similarly, coming to the Salesforce ecosystem, Salesforce do claim they're not using customer data to train the model. Now, how true that is, I don't know, but that's what they say. And obviously, they say, like I did briefly mention about the Einstein trust layer. There, your Copilot is integrated with Einstein trust layer, now, which is according to Salesforce, is a secure AI architecture built into Salesforce platform. Now, um, obviously, trust layer allows you to do few things, right? One is the data grounding, which is obviously, telling your language model to 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 perform a certain use case which is not exposed to. Now, I'll show you one of the definition of the grounding, which I found from a Microsoft blog. So this is a Microsoft blog uh, written by Eleanor Berger. Now, obviously, there are different articles out there about data grounding, but let's look at it. This one. It says the grounding is the process of using LLM with information that is use case specific, relevant, and is not available as a part of LLM trained knowledge. That's exactly what I say, right? You are requesting for information which has not been exposed before. Um, it is crucial for ensuring the quality, accuracy, and relevance of the generated output. That's very important. Otherwise, the grounding is meaningless, right? So that's a simple term if you wanted to understand the grounding. So now, motivation for grounding. The primary motivation for grounding is that LLMs are not database, even if they possess a wealth of knowledge. They're designed to be used as general reasoning and text engine. So that's the main thing, right? Um, okay, so then you have zero data retention, which I already mentioned. That the case about an open AI, where if you don't want to use data to be retained as a part of training their model, then you can turn that off. So the same claim Salesforce makes, your data will never be retained by third-party LLM providers, right? Which is good if that's true. Data protection, sensitive data such as personal identifier is masked, which is important, and the AI monitoring, right? Obviously, you need to understand that any kind of chatbot interaction you do, right? It's in the form of a simple English. That's why it's the natural language equation comes into picture, right? NLP has been the backbone of artificial intelligence for quite a while, right? Your Gen AI and other areas of artificial intelligence, NLP is heavily used, and in this case, NLP is one of the plays a very critical part, right? Because the whole idea is that when you're talking to a chatbot, NLP behind the scene makes sure that the kind of interaction what going to have will be similar to the interaction what you're going to have with a fellow human being, right? That's the whole point. That's where the natural language processing simplifies uh, the conversation in such a way that it's not the zeros and ones. Instead, it's a simple interaction which you normally do on day-to-day basis with a fellow human, right? That's how they wanted to. That's how the concept of NLP is about. That's the NLP is about. um, Now, obviously, what I'm going to do today, right? So this is a very brief introduction about Einstein Copilot, right? Um, so it uses natural language processing. It's built on Einstein trust layer, and it is a AI tech, right? Now, from a obviously, you might be interested to know that how do I use it, right? Can I do a free trial? Because that's the first question I'd be interested to know, right? Yes, you can do a free trial. I'll put the link in the description below. So obviously it's a 5 days trial, which is a good enough for you to get your hands on. So I'm using a trial version as well because I cannot use my enterprise work org to demonstrate anything, right? Because I have signed an NDA and I cannot do that. So you fill in all the information and you'll get the a regular Salesforce email to reset your password and yada yada normal stuff, right? Now you get something like this, right? Now what do you have to do? Go to your setup, yeah, and you can obviously copy the spelling Copilot. Never mind, never mind. You can to Copilot, yeah. So you get something like this. Go to Einstein Copilot. So obviously it will be disabled here when you do for the first time. Turn it on, and then you will say assign permission set, assign that, and you will get something like this, right? So don't forget to turn it on. And you can also look at actions, everything. Just one thing, this I'm going to cover in the next chapter. Actions is very important. A lot of because we do deal with a lot of actions when you're talking about the Einstein Copilot, right? So and I'll show you how it works, how to create your own custom actions, all the good stuff I'm going to talk about in the next episode. Right today, I just wanted to make sure you understand, the brief introduction to Einstein Copilot, what is it about, and just a brief tool, right? So Einstein action, we're going to do that, right? You can create a new Copilot action. These are the existing ones. So if I these are the standard ones, right? So for instance, find the identify object by name. So if you go here, gonna take some time. For, so you have um, input, you have output, and so and this is your Copilot instruction, and find Salesforce Object API. So we're gonna do that. I'll help you create one. So all the good stuff's gonna happen, right? So for now, so this is how it looks. So I'm not going to explain anything at this stage. Uh, but yeah, we have our some few out of box actions, and but we're going to create some of the actions so that you can use it in your conversation to give you a better output. Yeah. So now, how do I use it? Right. That's another question. Okay, you enabled it. So um, obviously, when you go to a record, so for instance, this one account, I got a prompt. Do you want it to use an Einstein? So I said, yep. So I got something like this. You got an account. So I picked up an account, and so now let's say, tell me about this account. Let's see if it gives any information, right? Usually, I mean, um, how do I say, right? Um, Salesforce is getting into the business of generative AI, which is fine. Is it cutting edge at this stage? Not really, right? Because you know the now you must be thinking, you know, um, why do I go with the Salesforce, right? The thing is that, right, the Gen AI, what we talk about, what I'm talking about now, right? it's to do with the Salesforce ecosystem, right? Anything you wanted to do, wanted to make your life easier, wanted to do AI capability on a Salesforce platform, then a Copilot will help you that. And it's, you don't have to be an AI expert, though I normally believe that if you call yourself as an AI engineer, you should know the deep learning and ML algorithms, right? Otherwise, you're just a tool user, right? That's my perception, because I'm an AI guy. I've been doing neural networks since ever since I went to MIT. So for me, I find it hard to accept someone comes to me, look, I'm an AI engineer, but I use a damn prompt builder. No, Paul, you're just using a trained LLM model. You're using an NLP on top of it to get, which is fine, right? I mean, that's the beauty of artificial intelligence, right? You get to use AI in a simplified way, right? It's not limited to a technologist or to engineers or to scientists. Even a non-technical person can use it. That's the advantage, right? So which is really good, and that's what I really credit Sam Altman. He did a great job um, in making sure that people are more excited uh, towards artificial intelligence compared to what we were in 2016 or 2017, right? Okay, so what I did here, I asked um, Salesforce Einstein to say, hey, summarize the account for me. So this is one of the capability of Copilot. If you remember, I mentioned here, um, um, not here, sorry, here, right? So you can summarize data, right? Um, let's have a case number here, right? So let me see, can you tell me about, let's see if it gives a, can you tell me about this contact? So it's the normal conversation, right? What do you normally have with a case agent or a call center agent? I'm just having that conversation with an AI, right? Or the conversation what you have with the chat GPT. So say, great, I've summarized the contact record. Jake, whichever way you say, VP of facilities, have been enrolled in two cases, right? So, which is pretty good, right? I mean, it gives you, it simplifies a lot of the task, right? If you're a call center agent, you might, you don't really have to go and drill in, different areas, right? um, Einstein will take care of that for you, and which is very simple, right? Which is very good. So yeah, this is one of the things you can do that for the Service Cloud as well, right? So this is one of the core capability which you get out of box. Now, obviously, like I said, there are standard actions. There are actions that goes behind the scene uh, to give you this output. If you want more comprehensive, for instance, um, let's say, tell me about the cases associated with it. Maybe you won't get the accurate information because you don't have an action associated with it. So we'll see how it goes. So if you want to give more enhanced, more comprehensive, you can build your own action and hook it up to conversation, right? Now, this one at least gave you this information, right? Which is pretty good. Now, if you want more comprehensive action, then you can build your own, and like I said, you can hook it up. So something which you're going to look at it. So since I only got 5 days trial, so I just wanted to make sure I'll cover the remaining videos in a very short span of time, maybe in a few days' time, right? So like I said, if you wanted to play around, go to this link. I'll put the link in the description below. Please register. It's a 5 days trial. Play around, and it's an opportunity for you to know the core capabilities, right? And there's a trailhead documentation. Just go through it, and yeah, that's a good place to get started. So that's pretty much I wanted to cover in this episode. Hope you guys have an amazing Sunday. Adios.